For more on this, we are joined by Mike Hughes, who is a defence expert at the Australian Strategic Policy Institute. Mike, welcome to News Breakfast.
Thanks very much for having me, James.
Can you just put this in context for us? Where does this rank? Australia has a lot of different security and defence agreements. Where will this one with PNG rank?
Yeah, it's quite a significant agreement, James, and obviously the details are still light on, as we would expect pre-signing of an agreement. But certainly what we've been able to hear about it so far would suggest it's definitely a significant one in terms of promising deeper integration of the Papua New Guinea Defence Force with the Australian Defence Force. Those Defence Forces are already integrated in some ways. We have a Papua New Guinean officer as a Deputy Commander of 3 Brigade based out of Townsville already. But this agreement is suggesting further integration, which I, for one, certainly think is a good thing. And it also is suggesting there are mutual consultation clauses about if one country is attacked, then the other will consider supporting. To me, that's really just the formalisation of essentially what would happen in any case. We don't really need a treaty to enforce that. As you would understand, being on Thursday Island at the moment on a clear day, you can stand at the northern end of Australia and you can see Papua New Guinea. It's our closest neighbour by far. We have a long shared history that's dictated by strategic geography. But certainly this treaty seems to be formalising what's largely been unspoken for some time.
There is a stall about 40 metres away from where I'm standing now, covered in Papua New Guinea flags. People here yesterday, Mike, was celebrating the 50th anniversary of independence. PNG says it is a friend to all and an enemy to none. Why is it looking for these sorts of formalised agreements at the moment, do you think? Yeah,
that's a long-standing policy by Papua New Guinea, and many countries in our region share that as a foreign policy statement. I think obviously our world is changing, James. We at ASPI had the great privilege of hosting Dr. Billy Joseph, the PNG Defence Minister, at our Defence Conference in June. He was very clear in a number of statements he made at that conference that PNG is looking for partners in which it holds strategic trust, partners who share the values of the Papua New Guinean government and people, and partners who share in Papua New Guinea's belief in a free and open Indo-Pacific. Australia is a key partner that shares every single one of those with PNG, and therefore it's no surprise that the PNG government would have trust in a long-term partner like Australia for such an arrangement. I think with the changing world as it is, PNG's had its own experience with China in particular. Like most, in fact, every country in the region, we all have an economic relationship with China. At the same time, we've all been at the pointy end of China's repeated coercion, whether that be economic or political. We've all been lectured to, as I have as a government official, by Chinese diplomats, and not just during their wolf warrior diplomacy phase either. So I do think there's a way in which certain countries like China are behaving that makes all countries in the region a little bit nervous, and therefore they are. Many of them are looking for arrangements such as this with trusted partners like Australia to preserve their future security and independence.
And Mike, just before I let you go, should we expect that there's going to be a pretty substantial cost to this for Australia? The PNG military is not in the best shape. It's obviously going to need a pretty big injection of funds if it is to be totally integrated, as it's been suggested in this agreement.
Yes, James, there undoubtedly will be a significant cost. Completely agree with everything you've just said there. James Marape, the Prime Minister of PNG, has admitted publicly recently that the PNGDF is not in a state to defend the nation at the moment, and that's one of the reasons that they're looking at signing this agreement as well. I think for the Australian people, for the Australian taxpayer, the key thing to understand about this agreement, as with a number of other agreements that the Australian government has been signing with Pacific partners across the region, whether it be attempted signing with the Nakamal Treaty with Vanuatu, the Filipelli Union with Tuvalu, the Australian Australia-Nauru Treaty. These are all designed to reinforce shared values across the region. They're designed to further integration between countries that share those values, and they do contribute to our collective security. They are absolutely a worthwhile investment. But given the challenging times that we live in, the most dangerous times since World War II, in the government's own words, we do need to start spending more on our national defence, on our national security, and collective security with our regional partners is simply one of those bills that we need to fit.
All right, Mike Hughes, we do appreciate you joining the program this morning. It is an interesting time for this part of the world.
Thanks very much, James.